All right, we're live. And for the first time ever, this is my second podcast in the same day. Shout out to everybody who was showing love on the last stream. We had a good number of shares, some really good questions, some really good comments. This is the Had Enough podcast. I've lost track of how many episodes, so we're just not going to worry about that. If you guys hate the algorithms as much as I do, please hit the like button, hit the share button. Definitely comments. One of the reasons I moved the podcast to live streaming is so you guys could get involved as well. So jump in the chat room or just as a chat. And obviously, if I like the question, as long as it's not a shitty comment, I will put it on the screen. But yeah, once we get into this, feel free to chime in. And if you have any questions or any kind of comments, that is more than welcome. So also, if you guys want to support the podcast, you can donate toward all the information is toward the bottom. I do give shout outs for that, so I highly appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm gonna let my guest introduce himself, which he's just getting his angle, right?
I'm just fucking with the phone over here trying to get the best angle. But I'm Johnny Bliss. What's going on, y'all?
Cool. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself to anyone who doesn't know you.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Bliss. I'm a musician / entertainer / entrepreneur out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, I got a project dropping on the 11th of March. Album release party, and the album goes digital everywhere too. So I got a lot of dope things going on and shit. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. So the title of this episode is how to release music independently. And as you just put it, you have an album coming out and you do consultation for other artists. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've done about 5 or 6, basically ranging from like super new artists that are learning how to like create their rhyme schemes and basically just structure the music as a whole. Mm-hmm. Like if they're struggling with putting too many words in, like I did when I was beginning, like I was trying to say too much basically. Yeah. So, simplicity is easier. So, mm-hmm. Just from that to all the way to like learning how to get on Spotify, knowing who to get in touch with for flyers or graphic design for projects and stuff. Because I mean, like, it's good, to like just when you're super brand new, maybe you can find a free program to like make something simple to get out there. But like, if you want to be taken super seriously, you have to have like the good graphics to go with, the product of music that you're making and stuff too. So
that's the thing with me is graphics, because I know in this day and age everyone's got an app on their phone, but I definitely think for flyer, you know what I'm talking about. Right. But I think for flyers, I think for cover art, for albums, for singles, unless you are absolutely prestige in that area, definitely hire a professional. It makes the world different. It makes a world of difference.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And, I've built these relationships over the course of, fucking basically a decade. So like, I'm kind of the plug here for if you need something. Like, if you need something musically, I can point you in the right direction, or I can get you in contact with who you need to and whatever. So pretty much got my fingers in as much as possible here.
Oh yeah, I love to hear that.
Yeah,
so, of course. I actually got more than I bargained for in this interview. I know we're doing this interview to help you promote your album, and I want to give a lot of like value and education to up and coming artists who just, they know how to make the music, they just don't know anything else. And I get those questions a lot, so it kind of inspired me to bring this podcast to what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the fact that you have like a lot of value can offer. So I definitely plan to kind of dive into that in this interview. But I want to start it off. Talk about how you got into music, like the very beginning.
So basically, I've been around music my entire life. My dad is he's basically locally famous. He's a DJ named Sparky on 104.1 The Blaze. You can listen to it basically anywhere in the world you want to. But nice. Basically, I grew up meeting rock stars, with like backstage passes and all that shit since I was like knee high. So like 5 years old. So meeting Kiss and Motley Crue and hanging out with Tommy Lee backstage and hearing some crazy stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, growing up the whole time, it just kind of like influences you. Like, it just makes the music more impactful when you've met these people that are making it, right? Mm-hmm. So I basically can remember one time specifically. I think it was 2000, or I think it was 2000, and I was 10. I went and seen Creed live at one of the big venues here, and there was an opening band that I had heard of that had radio songs and whatever. But basically, my dad was like, "Do you see how they're bored?" And they're just kind of going through the motions and whatever. They sound like they're seedy. They don't look like they're having fun. You see how the crowd's reacting to that?
Oh yeah.
Yes, okay.
I've seen it.
Right. And then you have Creed, who comes up and puts on a really good show, regardless of how you feel about Creed. But they had great stage presence, great performances, great just overall lighting and smoke machines and fire, just the whole package. So, and they were having fun. And the crowd was having fun. So before I was even a musician and gave a fuck about music, my dad instilled in me what good stage presence was versus bad stage presence and how that affects the overall product. So I was in rock bands since I was like 12 to like 16, 17. And then I used to sing a lot. And I used to sound just like Kurt Cobain. Like I could cover all of his songs.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I'm a big Nirvana fan, so that's
that's my favorite band, bro. So like,
oh yeah.
It was an honor for me, like, and I had like, my dad was like, you sound just like him, and it was dope. So the older I got, the deeper my voice got. So like, I couldn't hit the same notes comfortably. So me not knowing anything about fucking singing or anything, I literally was like, oh, I guess I can't sing anymore, lost my ability, rather than adapting to it. So I just stopped altogether, but I still had these rock star dreams. And here comes like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. My best friend since I was like 7, he invites me over to his house. We're kicking it. And he's like, yo, I made these 2 rap songs. And I was like, the fuck, you rap? What are you talking about, bro? Like, we used to play baseball together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, middle-class white kids. What the hell do we got to rap about? And lo and behold, I was blown away by what he had produced on GarageBand. So he made a little fucking guitar and little bass and whatever beat shit on there, and then recorded in a little snowball mic. And I was blown away. And I was like, I want to do that. So he helped me do it. Helped me create my first verse and how to like kind of structure it, because I didn't know how to. I could write rock music and write lyrics and stuff, but I didn't know how to write rap. So he helped me and recorded the song, and I was so proud of it, but nobody else was. Family, every one of my friends, every person that I ever met that I showed that to was like, stop doing this, you suck, don't ever do this again.
Oh yeah.
But I was proud of myself. So yeah. I took it as like, all right, I've been the underdog my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it came to sports, like, well, oh, you're short, whatever, because I'm 5'6". Like, people on the internet think I'm 6 foot tall. People think I'm 6 foot tall for some reason. Like, I have no idea why. I'm 5'6", but I was always the fastest on the field. I was always the best athlete. So I've always been the underdog. So I was like, bet I'm going to show y'all. Yeah. I got better and better, little by little, put together a project. You know what I'm saying? And then I got better and better and got the respect of my peers, but also got the respect of the other people that were musicians and other people I looked up to. And it just snowballed from there. But it's not like this happens overnight. Like, I showed my girl that song that I recorded, my first song, and it was so cringeworthy that I couldn't make it through the 50 seconds of this short verse that it was. You know what I'm saying? So the music has come a long way. So younger artists need to realize that it's not you don't just wake up one day and you're talented. You don't just wake up one day and you know how to structure this shit. Like, there's a lot that goes into this, and
I can really relate to the story because I was a vocalist in a metal band. Well, three different bands over time.
I think I knew that.
Yeah. Everyone usually want to tell people, they're like, "Oh, well, that explains how you look," and it's funny.
Well, I know Strawstone. I know Strawstone, and he was telling me about that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah. Shout out to Strawstone. Shout out to Nice Enough Entertainment. So, well, I definitely want to chime in on that. Yeah, man, Strawstone's the homie. So, yeah, I did that for about 10 years, but that's how I got my touring under my belt. I learned that's how I knew the importance of merchandise. And honestly, that's kind of where I got my feet in distributing music, as far as and that's just physicals. Like, this was when I was in a band. It was fuck, I was in a band before MySpace came around. Okay, my age is showing, I know.
Yeah, right.
But no, every band, we pressed up our own CDs. And this was literally before there was any distribution, before iTunes. So, and that was just the thing, selling CDs at and honestly, I'll chime in on this because every time people talk about digital distribution, they talk about streaming. I mean, they're even talking about how like iTunes is dying out. It's all streaming. No one buys CDs. I was like, I still sell CDs at shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I still do. Like, now is
Yeah.
it the same amount? Of I mean, obviously, streaming and CDs are two different things. Like, so I hate to
Totally
make
different.
that that comparison, but there's still people who are like, hey, that one song you played, which album is that on?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Like
What's your
everything's
favorite
switched to
album? They always say,
digital.
which one's your favorite? I'm like, well, it'd be my recent one. So some
Yeah.
people like my older stuff.
Yeah.
So
Facts, dude. Facts.
that's better than people not liking any of your stuff. So
Literally.
you know what I mean? So wanted to highlight a couple comment or so. Shout out to Mark Prevails. Also, any artists that are looking for any type of media, any type of industry assistance, definitely talk to Mark. He is a no BS kind of guy, so definitely be serious when you hit him up. But he's a good dude, and he's got a company. I've talked to him off and on. He's been in the industry a while, so shout out to him for being part of the chat. Waiting to hear about crowd control and presence in the atmosphere.
Atmospheric pressure. No,
Atmospheric, yeah. Pronunciation is my problem sometimes.
right. No, you're good, bro. I'm dyslexic, so welcome to the
especially when I'm on the spot to read something.
Right.
I'm like,
So crowd control. So when it comes to me and crowd control, the biggest thing that I work on is segues in between songs. Okay. So when I'm setting my stuff up, it's to the point now where my entire album, every song on there, I feel extremely comfortable performing because I know it's not going to be a song where like it's just a straight piano and it's not gonna fuck with the vibe that I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying? Like every song that I have is performable, so that way I can structure everything to where it'll kind of take out an emotional roller coaster. So, for instance, I have a song called Mount Olympus that I tend to start my sets off with because it just literally is like, boom, you get bars, bro.
yeah.
For the people who love like bars, you get bars straight from the fucking jump of that and all the way through the whole entire song. And it just sets the energies. People are like, oh, okay, he came to play. Like, all right,
I think so, yeah, because here's the thing, because when you're talking about how you moved from rock to hip hop I got the same thing. All my metalhead friends were like, what are you thinking? Because it's kind of, I'm gonna say this, it's trendy for metal fans to like not like rap, but I've always told them, it's like, man, you don't understand, the genres have such history though.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're inspired by they have the same roots and genre, like jazz, blues, 60s rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, all of it. But it's funny because behind the scenes, I've had some of my metal friends is like, I do like me some Wu-Tang. I was like, oh, I knew it. I like me some NWA.
I like a couple of Tech.
They like the old school shit and stuff like that. I tell them, like, man, there's plenty of hip hop. I mean, you're not going to hear it on the radio or in the club, but you'll find it. There's some underground stuff that's recent now, and
it still holds weight. Yeah. There's old school shit that still holds weight today.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I got that too. And honestly, some of them over time is like, you know what? You're actually getting really dope at this. So yeah, I had a long process. A lot I had to learn on my own. Yeah, a lot I had to learn on my own. I had a couple of friends who I would collaborate with, but I could definitely tell a lot of them didn't really want to give me too much info on skills, on how you could write this verse better, how you can flow to this beat better. They would give me ideas, but I later down the line, I kind of felt that maybe everyone was afraid of building too much competition.
Yep, that's exactly what it is, bro.
But I always looked at it as like, well, I mean, now I'm a lot more honest. Like when I collaborate, like especially if they record at my place, I'm like, hey, you stumbled a little bit on that syllable, but it was good, or something like that. Or they would screw up, and I'm like, I would be, obviously it's my song, but to me, it's like I would want them to voice that to me. I would want them to say, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think if you're collaborating and you're friends, you're with your friends. It's like
Well,
I want my friends to be as sharp as possible because I would want them to want me.
yeah,
I think that,
absolutely.
yeah. So
Well,
I
there's
mean,
a thing as healthy competition.
yeah, absolutely. There's healthy, there's respectful competition, and honestly, like even me, this podcast to give education, you could say I'm building competition, but to me, I just feel like I would rather actually have that kind of competition because honestly, it's going to make the scene and the shows and the music more fun because we're all trying to outdo each other, and that's fun, and you can do that without there being any hostility because I think that's what people are worried about. But to me, you're building a stronger music industry of artists for generations to come.
Absolutely.
Because we can't
Absolutely.
I can't sit here and bitch about mumble rap or about nobody cares about lyrics or nobody cares about being on beat if I'm not trying to make sure education between me and other people who are well known, who are experienced, and who are knowledgeable.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So I think you get bad genres in the next generation because no one taught them everything, or everyone didn't want to give them any guidance, any information. So I think that's important, and I think that's probably what birthed a lot of bad music in this generation because there was a gap where the past generation didn't want to teach the younger ones anything, and so
Yeah, but I also think that it was a lot of people who didn't understand the culture that had money in the music industry that were like, "Oh, I can make some money off of Homeboy because Homeboy sounds like other Homeboy."
yeah,
It was a numbers
true,
thing. It was a
it
numbers
was,
thing. So it was like,
yeah,
okay, how can I capitalize off of this situation that's going on
mm-hmm.
and make a little bit of coin, knowing that these guys, not all of them,
Yeah,
but the majority, I don't want to say the majority, but a percentage of them, a large percentage, I'm sure, didn't have a career after 2 years after they blew up.
yeah.
Like look at Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap is a prime example how he knew his day in the spotlight was going to be a very small one, and he collected all of his coin that he could, and now he's just laying back doing behind the scenes shit. He's producing. He's literally engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not the face of anything anymore. Well, I mean, he'll still do his whatever, but that's not his
Right.
focus. That's
Yeah.
what made him his bag. And then he's like, okay, I want to do something else with this. So, dude, there's so many things that people don't realize that go on past the music industry,
Right.
and that go into having the complete, full, successful image and whole package to be the next thing. It's not about lyrics. It's not about being a dope rapper anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I want to give a shout out to Antidote from Wichita, Kansas. That Salute had enough. So he was actually the first artist that I taught to on here, and it was I was just doing my own stream, just yapping away, and then he was in, and then I brought him in there, and we chit chatted a little bit. So I did a show. Actually, I think it was a nice. Was it? I think it was a nice enough show. Because I know Straw. I'm trying to think of which tour it was.
I remember the flyer.
I know Jay Influential was on the tour.
Yep, he's on my show. I love Jay.
Me too. And then Finch was on the tour.
Yep,
I think the headliner is someone we don't discuss anymore. Justin knows what I'm talking about.
The little bridge troll.
Yeah. I remember what tour it was, but that was a dope local lineup. So
yeah.
Also, Mark said, how do you feel about affiliate marketing and cross-promotional material between artists and agencies? That's a good question.
Yeah, good question for sure. I guess, what does he mean by agencies, I guess?
I think he's more like probably PR teams. He'll probably answer that in a little bit because he's definitely deep into this video.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'd like to be able to answer his question or at least learn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like me. Sometimes any questions broke down a little bit more.
Yeah. But, so I guess.
Here he goes. He answered. I mean, interrupt you. My bad, bro. But PR and media agencies. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually kind of where I'm at right now. Like,
see, that's
I'm hiring PR.
That's what I'm. No, excuse me. That's what I'm working on right now too. Like that's where I'm doing my research to take my entire product to the next level because I know that branding is the biggest part of this.
And that's what he does. So
yes. So that's what I'm focusing on is creating Johnny Bliss, the brand,
Right.
So it's not just the music. I have my own clothing line. I have other things going on in other avenues that all pertains to the entertainment itself, the overall package. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. I mean, I see the logo up front. I've been using that. I had the dispensary pre-roll sponsorship going on, and merch has been a big thing for me. So yeah, I'm looking for other avenues to carry that brand and really
absolutely.
But no, I've worked with PR teams before. I know I had one particular single, Thought Criminal, I put out a couple years ago, and then me and my label actually hired a PR team and got a few blogs. And what was dope was these were not blogs that like you send them a biography and then they copy and paste it and put it out.
Right.
At first I thought that's probably what it was, because I've been I've been duped on a couple of those back in the day. But then when I looked at them, they were actual reviews. They were breaking down my lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, whoa. And then I'm getting compared to Public Enemy and Eminem and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
No,
so wow. No. Okay, actual music critics. So they're really good blogs.
Now that I understand his question and what you mean by that, I'm working with somebody who's out of LA who I guess would be a PR. I guess he's just not my personal one. Right. But I'm going to be in 3 blogs here in the next couple of weeks that are going to sequentially drop before the album. So
that's, and while we're, since we're on the subject on this episode to talk about releasing music independently, definitely towards the end of the podcast, I want to like kind of put them all in one, I guess you could say, statement sentence. Right. Just so younger artists who want to release independently correctly, they can at least leave this podcast with all that in one. Obviously, we're going to be talking about probably each subject here and there, but getting on blogs is definitely important. I think it helps a lot.
And I'll tell you here the reason why it's important. It's not important for the reason that most people think. Mm-hmm. It's important to get your SEO numbers up, your search engine optimizer. So literally, it makes you. So basically, when people go to Google you, they can find you easier. You have these verified places that have interviewed you essentially. And I think you get up to, and once you get to like 12, you can get verified if you meet certain qualifications.
Right.
That's why they're important. Most people don't blow up off of blogs anymore. That was big like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's good for the groundwork to get you to that point. So it's a necessity, but it's a necessity for reasons that people don't understand fully.
Right. Mark also said this, there's an age-old issue with indie artists where many of them feel like they can't work with sponsors or publicists without feeling like a sellout. How do you two feel about it?
I'm up for it.
I'm up for it too.
I've got things.
I've had sponsors. I've had local businesses sponsor the shows I've done here in Tulsa. I actually have one for the March Massacre that we got coming up. But I like to support small business, especially with all all that they kind of went through with the pandemic. But I'm a big, so I'll do stuff like that. But hey, if Coca-Cola hits me up, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if I got to that point and like something like Coca-Cola or Bud Light or PBR, shout out, hits me up and they say, we want to sponsor $5,000 into you, to your show, to your album, to you in general. I'm saying that's a big yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's
cool. Their marketing team is A1.
Exactly. So yeah, I just know, to me that's I think the dumbest thing you could do is turn that down. I don't even know what the word sellout means unless you literally are anti-corporation and then you get sponsored by a huge corporation. I can kind of see, but at the same time, man, when I was a punk rock kid in high school, there are tons of things I was totally like against. What I was probably totally anti this, anti that. Nothing on a moral standpoint, just punk rock stuff. You're anti this and that, anti having a job, and all this stuff. And then you grow older, or as you grow older, but you grow up a little bit, and then your mentality changes, your priorities change, and then you see things a little differently.
Yep.
So to me, that's different. So yeah, I don't really know what really like in music as a sellout. Like if you're doing something that's, you got to pay the mortgage, you got to eat or whatever, I mean, within reason, as long as you can find a way that fits you, your brand, and what you're trying to do, and you as an artist, I don't see how that's
out. I mean, here's the thing, like, I don't put myself in a box to even sell out. I make so many different types of music. Like, I mean, it falls under the rap category, but I don't just make one avenue of music. Like,
right.
I've got a drummer for all my live shows.
Oh,
We're
nice.
working on, I'm starting to basically integrate rock music back into my sound, because that's just been my fucking sound since I was a young kid. I love rapping. I'm not a singer. I know that. I can play guitar. I'm not the greatest at it. I don't have the passion to want to learn how to be the greatest at it. I love rapping, and I'm a great lyricist, so I'm focusing on that, but I still want to make the music that I want to make. So, I mean, as far as a sellout goes, I don't really see, even if I started making pop music or country music, that wouldn't be a sellout. That would just be me being like, well, fuck it. I want to make this type of music because it'll make me some money.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Freitas. He says, I think selling out is doing something you don't want to do for money.
Yeah. Facts.
There we go.
If you want it, that's the thing, is like, the moment that me making music becomes unfun, I don't want to do it.
That's true. Also, shout out to DJ Corrosion. He said, for new rappers starting to get out there, besides hustling their stuff at local shows, what are platforms you guys recommend for the new artists to spread their music and merch on and get heard and build a fan base outside of surrounding areas?
I got you. Okay. So with that being said, if you're on Spotify, you can link basically your merch to Shopify and sell your merch on Spotify. So if you can get onto Spotify through either DistroKid or CD Baby or fucking, United Masters, whatever, you can get your music up there. You can sell your stuff. So I'm not reliant on word of mouth anymore. I go to Fiverr. It's an app called Fiverr, Fiverr. It's got a green logo on it. I think it's an F on it, I would assume. You can literally find any sort of digital marketing. You can find people to make your covers, beats, whatever you want on there. It's all.
There's some good lyric video
dude,
creators
you can find
on there
so
too.
many things out there, and there's different platforms of sellers. You can see new.
I will say this about Fiverr. I tell everyone, if you're looking for social media management, be careful, because there's a lot of people who will sell
scams on there.
Yeah,
there's definitely scams on there. So you just have to do your research, look at the reviews, look at their level of selling, look what they're offering, etc. Blah blah blah. There is going to be bots that are going to be like, oh, you're on my playlist, but people just, they're bots, they're fake views.
Yeah.
So your shit spikes up and then it spikes down after a month later or whatever. So that stuff does happen, but you just got to be aware of it or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff. I honestly, man, Google. I was the biggest person. They would literally be like, oh, can you figure out this for me? Can you do this? I just started going to Google. Like, I'm a huge UFC fan, right? So the last heavyweight fight was like 2.5 weeks ago or whatever. And I was super emotionally invested in this fight. Fight happened, didn't go the way I wanted it to. Then about 2 or 3 days later, I'm looking on YouTube. Well, there's nothing I want to watch. And I'm like, why don't I don't ever do this, because I would get psyched out beforehand. I would get overwhelmed before I'd even be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to learn this stuff. It's going to be too hard. I Google or YouTubed how to market your music, watched a 10-minute video, and it made total sense how he was laying it out. There was also literally like the screen was him doing the work itself. And because I have my music on DistroKid, there's free things on DistroKid you can use for promo uses. You can make little 15 second motion videos with your song in the background with flames and smoke and blah, blah, blah. There's things that you can utilize if you just do a little bit of research. So I would always forget Google existed, and now it's the first thing I go to.
Me too.
So yeah. And if anyone wants to pick my brain after this, add me on social media. It's Johnny Bliss, just how it's spelled in the name right there. All streaming platforms, all social media, everywhere you can find me under that. If you have questions, hit my inbox, add me on Facebook, whatever. I can help whoever needs it. So
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do the share screen, and I'll pull up your book, and that way people kind of know where to go.
Yeah, I appreciate
Give
it.
me 1 second, because my keyboard's a little bit of a reach from where I'm at. So
Oh, you're good,
this
bro.
might be so. All right, while I'm doing that, I'm a multitask. Let's
Shout
get
out to Mark.
into.
Mark just added me.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to Mark.
he
Mark
just
just
sent
added
me.
me.
Okay, hope he doesn't mind if I read. He sent me a really dope message. So
Yeah,
Mark, I hope you don't mind if I read your message, but I'm gonna read it anyway. He said, "I'm really excited to see what you do with the podcast. Good answers. These kids need good, knowledgeable people to guide them. I'm glad to see that you're in that sector of the industry now."
hell yeah, man. I appreciate that, Mark. That's dope. Yeah, because
Actually, Mark, I'm gonna have to have you on the podcast because you'd be a great, considering what you do. So I've interviewed one music marketer, Leonard Firestone. That was a really good episode, and he has a team where they help with like YouTube marketing campaigns and so forth. They help with all kinds of stuff, and I know teaching people how to make an income from doing like reels, like on TikTok and Facebook. He's doing really well with that. But a lot of it's just the PR stuff, blogs, and I plan to work with him pretty soon. But one thing he did help was telling people how to know when a music marketer is a scam. Definitely, if they can guarantee how many followers you're going to get,
yes,
stuff
they
like
can
that.
guarantee how many streams and followers. No.
I mean, if they estimate like, hey, we could probably reach this many people, that's how many people are going to see it.
Yeah,
Not people who are going to engage and hit the follow button, because you can't predict that. So
honestly,
that alone,
like
the
I
scam.
don't mean to interrupt you. The super legit
Yeah. Oh, no,
ones, the super legit ones will say, I cannot guarantee how many streams you'll get in the actual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it'll say it in the description of what's going on. We do not guarantee a number of streams. And then you'll also notice too is like if someone's like, yeah, we're on a playlist of 100,000 people, it's only $20 to submit a song. Okay, that might be a scam.
Right.
Then if you're like, oh no, you get on a playlist of 200,000 people or whatever, it's $200 for one song for 30 days. Okay, that's probably legit. You know, I've done that a couple times where I've gotten my streams just flooded from spending the money and putting them on actual playlists. You know, so it makes a difference. So yeah, there's my Facebook. That's my personal account. I got a music account too. I need to. I'm getting back into and just promoting from that and stuff too. So go add that. But Instagram. I don't have a Twitter anymore, but I got an Instagram. I'm locked out of it. I need to figure out how to get back into it. But add me on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you stream. Yeah, I got a project. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff out. I got 3 singles from the album actually out right now. So Mount Olympus was the most recent one. Lemons, and then Lobotomy. Those will all be on the album as well too. So if you guys want to get an idea for what the album's going to be like when it comes out on the 11th of March, there's a couple sample songs.
Oh yeah. No one can guarantee sales, return on investment, or reviews. Yes.
No, they can. It's bullshit.
Cool. Also, you need to interview Phoenix and Corrosion. Yes, that will definitely happen. So yeah, let me know, let you guys know, I am going to put everyone's comment in the public. I know I haven't got a chance to read and shout out to everyone. Honestly, this is probably, when it comes down to the chat, this has been my most lit podcast since going live. I haven't the comments, you guys have been going crazy on the comments.
Yeah, I appreciate the interactive, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So I appreciate it, guys. But yeah, just let you guys know I'm not ignoring you. I just don't want to interrupt Johnny if he's in the middle of the story.
Yeah,
so,
no, I go
done,
live.
I'll pop you guys in. So
yeah, I've been starting to go live like every Thursday.
Yeah.
And just basically doing the same thing, like asking. Artists will ask questions and other people ask questions, and I usually have at least 100 to 200 comments, and at the end of it. So because people are engaged and they're learning stuff, and I've seen so many artists are like, thank you for that, that's knowledgeable, and they just check. All right, cool. Like, so
oh yeah, shout out to Joe Tamus.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, from Shawnee, Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my phone charger in the other room really quickly, so give me 2 seconds.
Gotcha. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. Well, he said 2 seconds, but we know it's gonna be 2 minutes. Let me see. While we got some time, let me scroll back up so that way I can give everybody their shout outs. Go Johnny, got such great information. Absolutely. This is, like I said, this interview is more. I mean, I got connected with Johnny from Straw from Nice Enough Entertainment. He was looking for podcast interviews to promote for his new album, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. I didn't realize he had that kind of history and that type of knowledge. So I'm just like, all right, this is good. So, that's why you guys got to give artists a chance, stuff like that. You never know who has knowledge and who could help. So definitely. Let's see, who did I had one homie I forgot to give a shout out. So now's a good time. Oh yeah. Hey, Monty from Norman, Oklahoma. What's up, bro? Okay, I'm gonna scroll back down. Okay, so
I'm big.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Penny wanted to you're good. Penny wanted to tell you that go Johnny, go. Such great information.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm glad to help, because there were so many people, like you said, that just for some reason didn't want to offer the knowledge that they had to be like, oh, this is what I did. Because that's my whole thing is I'm like, hey, I'll give you the blueprint for what I did, but it worked for me. It might work for you. You might got to do some tweaks to it, but this is what worked for me. Take it. I don't care. It's not a secret.
So where'd you come up with the name? Because I swear it's like a Marvel's comic superhero name. I love it.
I love that. It's funny you say that, because I usually get porn stars. Like, that's a porn name. I'm like, oh, okay.
I can see that too.
Yeah, my Johnny's blissful. No, but it's funny. Okay, funny stories. I used to manage Topper's Pizza, and we franchised it because it was out of Wisconsin. And we opened up the first one here in Nebraska, and I hired a kid named Parker Bliss. And I was just, for some reason, so infatuated that his legal last name was Bliss. I just thought that was cool as fuck, because like bliss is such a strong, positive word. You know, it's literally pure happiness, like pure ecstasy, like pure just. So I made a joke one day, because I had made like maybe 2 songs, hadn't wanted a career with rapping. I made 2 shitty songs or whatever, but I was like, I'm going to be a rapper and name myself Bliss. And then cut to maybe like about a year into working there, like a month after I made that joke, I ended up quitting because I couldn't stand working like 70 hours every week. So I woke up a couple days later being like, just kind of being like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like, I don't want to go back to my old job before I had this manager job. Like, I don't know what I want to do. And I woke up about 3 days later saying the name Johnny Bliss, and I just couldn't shake it. I'm like, where did I come up with this name? Like, where did I hear this at? And then I Google it, and nothing comes up. The only thing that came up was a dude named John Bliss. They played rugby in Australia from like the 40s or 50s or some shit. That's it. So I was like, bet. Because I'm like, it's perfect, because like it's not it wasn't like a Lil this or Young that, because I'm not that type of rapper. Yeah. So it became like, I don't have to go by my government name. I could go by an alias and then basically be everything that I ever wanted to be that I was told I couldn't be as, who I am. And then put it into Johnny Bliss so I could be whatever the hell I wanted to be. And it was a different alias, and it wasn't like, Lil Stank or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it just made sense to me that it was a good alias. So that's how I created it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, what are, we're snowed in here in Oklahoma.
Are you really?
Yeah. Every time I've been to Nebraska on quite a few tours, and every time, I think majority of the time I went there, not every time, but most of the time, it would either be snowing or it'd be just a little bit colder. So
it's cold today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it's supposed to be like 55, 60.
See, that sounds like Oklahoma, but I think we got about a week till we get back to warm times.
Yeah. Well, we missed that big ass snowstorm by like 200-300 miles, because that bitch was huge. Like, I looked at the map, because there's a bunch of people that I know, like, that are not in Nebraska, that are in Kansas City and Missouri and all sorts of shit, and they're like, oh, we're taking cover. And I'm like, look at my app, and I'm like, sunny, nice as hell. And I just look at the map, and I'm like, oh, there's a big ass storm going through. So normally we get our asses whooped in the winter.
Yeah, because I remember I came down. I did when Stevie Stone was on tour. Had me on the Omaha show at Lookout Lounge, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think by the time we hit the Nebraska state line, it just started snowing, and then the roads got pretty slick.
I believe it, dude. Wholeheartedly believe it.
Hey, shout out to Pac-Man with the smoke and muscle emoji.
Oh, I couldn't read what that was. It's so small.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. The emojis, you can kind of see them, but they don't transfer well as they would on your phone or a computer.
Well,
it's kind of weird.
Like my screen and your screen collectively take up a quarter of my phone's screen. So like you're really tiny on my screen right now.
That's funny. So let's break into releasing music independently. So first off, let's get some promo in on your album. If you want to talk about the name of the album,
absolutely,
the concept behind it.
Yeah, so the project is called Painted Smiles. It's my 5th project. By far my best, which I mean, if you're an artist, you should probably continue to put out your best work. But my biggest influence in rap was always Lil Wayne. So Lil Wayne has always been, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest lyricist that there ever was. His ability to create metaphors and punchlines that were so just off the wall but made beautiful sense, and then just intricately tie everything together, triple entendres, everything, just like, God damn it. Didn't matter what he said, but he fucking said it. But I realized that like I'm idolizing somebody who grew up vastly different than me. So I started noticing that the things I was talking about was like how much pussy I was getting, how cool I was all the time. Periodically, I'd make a song that had some depth to it about something, an experience I went through. But like, so the older I've gotten, the more I've started showing more of my vulnerable side and like life lessons and just opening up about who I am rather than who I want you to see. So the whole album is me being like, all right, it's a double entendre. So the metaphor for it, so the Painted Smiles is like, I'm sick of the fake shit. Right. Sick of people just pretending to be this motherfucker that they're not. Yeah. But also, you have me and other people who sometimes have to fake a smile to get through some shit, right? Yeah. So you gotta do it. And the whole album itself it's a portrait of me, and there's a little artist down here who's painting that portrait, right? He's painting a smile on the album, on the face of me. But the artist who's painting it, it's only a sketch of him. He's not colored in, he's not fully illustrated. And what that means is they're both me. So the portrait that you're seeing is what I want you to see. That's who I want you to see me as. Who I really am is this artist that's an incomplete figure that's painting this beautiful portrait of himself. But so who he is an incomplete person. He's not fully built yet. He's not fully assembled, but he wants you to see is this beautiful portrait of him, just the pinnacle of success. So it's got a lot of layers to it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and it just kind of came to me one day. I just knew exactly where I wanted to go with the album. So
nice. Good.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album?
Painted Smiles.
Painted Smiles. Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
What kind of vibe can people kind of expect from it, like musically?
There's
bangers, melodic.
There's a mix of bangers and like some heavy, like I mean heavy rap in the sense of like aggressive, like oh shit, okay. Yeah. And then there's hip hop, there's some like soulful hip hop shit in there. There's a song called Lobotomy that's out now that I talk about my house burning down. Like the things that I went through, the traumas, like I lost both my dogs in that fire. So like it was a lot to deal with at age 14. So like I opened up about some shit that crushed me but also ended up developing me and who I am today. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of different sounds in there. I'm the most vulnerable I've ever been on a project with this one. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about how cool I am. You know, I've got songs on there to be like, oh, you want me to showcase my skill set? Bet. Here you go. But I also got shit that's like, damn, okay, I feel you on that, bro. And then everything in between. I got a club banger on there too. You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker is fire. So yeah, I have a little bit of everything because that's what I like to offer. I don't like to limit myself or box myself in with just because I make a sound that works for me, I don't need to reciprocate that sound just to be successful or just to feel like I'm worthier. Like I'm constantly changing my sounds and just adapting and just going with the flow. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy.
All right. When's the album come out?
March 11th. So it comes out March 11th everywhere on all streaming platforms across the board. And then if you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska or Omaha area, I actually have Jay Influential coming out from Omaha. I've got Nick Static the Rapper, if you know who that is, from South Dakota. He's
Yes, I
coming
do.
down for the show. And then I have a homie named Swizzy B who's out in Orlando, who's got things popping off in there, that just got off tour with Snow the Product not long ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's coming up for the show too. And then I got myself, and then Young Steez, Chris Topher, and then Rashid. All three of those guys are from Lincoln. So yeah, we're gonna be packing this bitch out too. So I'm excited. The show's gonna sell out. I sold out of my pre-order for shirts within 2 days, and hadn't even gotten them printed yet. Collected all the money, you know what I'm saying? Got everything set and ready to go, and sold out of the motherfuckers. So I'll have shows for the shirts for the show and hats. But as of right now, I literally sold out of all my pre-order shit. So I'll be doing something special about 2 weeks before the album drops, for everybody that buys a ticket and pre-orders the album, because that'll go on sale two weeks before. So anybody who buys a ticket to the show and pre-orders the album will get entered into a raffle to win almost basically about $200 worth of free shit. Nice. And it's dope stuff. So
yeah, I like these raffles, these contests, pre-orders.
Yeah, dude.
I'll definitely say that's a good entity to have when you're releasing new music. Definitely more of an album. I definitely feel like single releases are a little different, but there's nothing wrong with giving a little extra. What I have is I have a single I'm putting out on the 15th. Will be the day after Valentine's Day, and me and this artist are actually performing the song for the first time at the March Massacre, which is the show I'm doing March 5th here in Tulsa. And so I'm using that single as a way to promote the show. Okay, so get the song kind of blown up, known, lots of promotion, and to a point where, you know, if people kind of like the song and they kind of vibe with it, kind of like the hook and everything, then and then just say, hey, come to the show, see it live. So
yeah, well, here's what's cool, dude, is so all of my, and I'm a pensive person. I'm in deep thought all the time, constantly plotting, bro, all the time. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying to the point where, like, I'm constantly trying to figure out what I can do next to just gain a little bit more traction. So I'm not the first person to do this with the business cards. I have a QR code on all of my business cards. Now, I understand that it's harder to see because my dumb ass put black ink on dark gray, but my new ones are going to have it all white with the same background. But you have a QR code here. It's to my link tree, which has all the streaming platforms, music videos on YouTube, all that shit on there. So I hand these out at every one of my shows. So that way it's 500 of these for $30. It's on Vistaprint. That's nice. Game over. I'll take that $30 loss because that's basically that'll last me anywhere between like 3 to 5 shows with 500 of these.
Yeah. I'm due for new business cards, and I'm definitely doing the code because I haven't done that before. I'm that out. So
let me take it a step further, bro.
Yeah.
So not only am I doing it for my business cards, every single one of my flyers has the QR code on it as well. So every person who was on that show, their music is on this QR code. You can listen to the artists that you're going to see before you see them. You can constantly update your link tree or whatever the fuck streaming thing you want to have on here. But the thing is you can buy the ticket link through here. Everything you can put, every website you want that they're going to need is on this QR code. So that way, when you see the poster on the side of these businesses that they're going to be hanging on, then you can scan that and be like, oh, like, just because here's the thing is, like, there's so many people like, oh, you're so dope, I never heard of you. Cool. So if you've never heard of me, you got a link right here. Go check my music out. You'll probably like it. So every flyer, I'm gonna have a big ass banner that's a 6 foot tall by 2.5 foot tall banner of me and my logo and a QR code on it. So everything that I have for promotional use has a QR code on it because everything's digital these days.
Mm-hmm.
So do yourself a favor and do the same thing. And, you know, because I told a couple of the homies about it at a show, just politicking, doing whatever. Next thing I know, they're on a show, QR codes on it. I'm like, cool, y'all paid attention.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this show to do that.
Yeah.
But I talked to him about it because I'm not afraid to share business advice. I'm not trying to be the first person to do this. Be like, I did it. Like, who fucking cares, bro? If people fuck with me, they're going to go here. You know what I'm saying? And people fuck with me. So it's just a smart idea. It just helps for advertising.
You and I are a lot alike. We have the same mindset. It's I don't care about the braggadocio or this and that. As long as it's, you know, I do it in a way where I feel like it's well precipitated. And I don't mind people saying like, "Yo, how'd you do that?" I have no problem telling them.
Yeah.
It's, you know, so
just ask the
there's a lot of advice I've done that I think 99% of artists probably won't do, but if they did, it would help them get to where they're trying to go. So, but Corrosion just threw this in. I got one for both of you. I hear some of these new rappers that barely start to do shows say, I'm going to shoot straight to major label. And both of your opinions, is that a good idea for anyone just starting out, or should they build more of a fan base before doing any big moves?
The latter of that, because you're going to get chewed up and spit out if you don't know dick all about the business side of it.
Yep. Well, see, my last interview I did today with Misery, we're talking about how some rappers want to do it big right off the bat. And I said, no,
everybody does.
Yeah. I said you should do it small and
it's not reality.
Let it build up. Yeah. So
well, here's the thing though. So 2 or 3 years ago, when I was like, because I've had 2 major buzzes. This is my second really big buzz because there was a lull in activity. I had to get my personal affairs in order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a dad. I have 3 kids now, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So like there was things that I had to get in order for me to even create music and focus on it because it was just such a scramble up here. So I had a huge buzz, stopped focusing on it, got my personal affairs, and now I got that buzz back on basically on steroids because just people understand what it is. And that's not even me being egotistical. Like I've just done this for so long and I've proven it time and time again. I'm not just saying it. Mm-hmm. Come to a show of mine and I will fucking show you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like if you need to build yourself up because you don't just automatically have good stage presence. You don't automatically know how to control a crowd. You don't automatically know how to project your voice and automatically realize how to control your breathing. All of that shit goes into play.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm sure you're the same. I'm not rapping over my own vocals. I'm not karaokeing my songs when I'm doing
we talked about that that's funny because the interview I had, they talked about, you know, the rapping on vocals or the lip syncing or the one thing that I see it drives me nuts where they basically are the hype man for their song. Like they have the DJ play the song, you'll hear the vocal, you hear the whole song. They jump around. The only vocals they do live is like their ad libs.
Yep.
And I played shows. I've seen I see that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like that's like and then they talk about, well, someone, you know, they'll say like little, you know, rain drip, whatever, you know,
little drip drip.
Yeah, little drip drip. He did that. They'll show me a video, and I'm sitting here like, and people paid money for this. This is not a show.
Bro, I opened up for. I'll never forget this moment. Okay, I was on stage opening up for Riffraff, and this was like 5 years ago.
I did a show with Riffraff.
When we used to rap over our vocals. Okay, I'm not ashamed to admit I used to do it. It was a long time ago, but I used to do it. Now, on stage, this little kid, high school kid, or however old he was, younger than me at the time, tweeted at me, "Boo, you suck. You're rapping over your vocals, blah, blah, blah," right? Then his next tweet is, "Riffraff is the god." Now, when I got off stage, I was like, I didn't feel good about it because I had like a burp build up to where I had to turn around and the vocal still played, and you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, fuck. Didn't want to do that, but because I wasn't rehearsed. Well, I didn't know enough about stage presence and being rehearsed enough because I was so worried I was gonna forget my words and just fuck it up and whatever. So I watched Riffraff's whole set. He rapped a quarter of his verses, maybe. He just kind of walked around. He wasn't even dressed up cool, bro. He was wearing Jordan hoodie, Jordan sweatpants, and Jordans, like some gray shit.
That's his thing.
Nothing, not even riff-raffed out, bro. And this motherfucker had the audacity to clown me for one minor mess up in my performance. And then you got Riffraff over here who only rapped for maybe a quarter of his whole thing. Held the microphone out like this and music's still playing, lyrics still going. He's just like, it's like, how are you going to do that to me? Hold these guys to the same standards.
I hate how they take, like, they try to, fame gets the excuse.
Yeah, like, no, dude. Like, I get it. Here's the thing, though, is Riffraff is an entertainer.
Yeah.
He's a rapper, yeah, but he's not like a lyricist. I mean, he can freestyle his ass off, but it's not like crazy. It's goofy.
Yeah. Let's see. Corrosion says, yes, as a DJ, I don't find it too professional if the rapper relies on their backtrack to do the music while they jump around on stage. Not impressive, especially when they are so known but don't remember half the damn song.
That's true. My hooks are full volume, but my verses aren't.
Penny says, that's why I'm afraid to sing in front of a crowd. Yeah, it's
well, singing's different. Singing's different, dude. Like, you got to learn. Like, if you're singing in front of a crowd, you have to be so well rehearsed and be able to hit the same notes and be able to drag out the notes. And it's different than being able to just project your voice, like, naturally. Like,
right.
So it's harder for singers, for sure, I would say. But I'm not a singer, so I don't know. But
all right, so we'll talk about, let's see, all the properly released music independently. So we touched on blogs, and I definitely recommend everybody doing some Google. Find blogs to submit your music to, or if you know somebody, obviously knowing people is a big thing. So blogs, definitely, I would say if you're going to release something, definitely like an album, album release party. I mean, those are great, and they always do good. Absolutely. Everyone, especially when you got the word party. I've noticed if it's a birthday bash or it says party, you get a lot more people because they feel something. Actually, Mark, let's see, knowing people and everything is this industry. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's see the hooks or what.
Oh, where'd he go? Is it just me? Did I take over his live? Yes. All right, here we are. The hooks are one thing, though, but the rest of the song, if you got to fake it, nah, not for me. Dude, I totally feel that. I think this is hilarious. I feel like he got kicked off of his own live, and now I took over, bitch. So yeah, no, I definitely agree, dude. Like, it's a place for me to fucking basically catch my breath because I am an entertainer. Like, I'm a hell of a performer. I don't just stand there and like I'm fucking headbanging. I'm pouring water on my head. Like, I'm crowd surfing if I can. Like, I'm everywhere. I rock the fuck out. I come from a rock background, so yeah, it's super important. But at some point, oh, there you are. I took over.
My computer just told me to go get fucked. Apparently,
that's funny, dude. I took over the whole podcast. I was
hell yeah. All right. We didn't leave it. We didn't leave him. We didn't leave him stranded, so that's cool with me. But yeah,
that's
back where I was.
Take over.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I was saying, man, album release parties are awesome, and yeah, get your friends, get people. We'll make the entertaining show. Hey man, if you know people in the industry that want to come rock with you, or at least are kind of connected, bring people out of state. I don't know, make a good. Yeah, and I like the pre-order, like getting merch or the album where people can kind of pre-order it. So pre-order it. That's always cool.
Real quick though, yeah. I learned this today.
Yeah,
game changer. You want to know how you chart? Pre-orders. Pre-orders, because every single pre-order you get counts for day one record sales and streams and all that shit.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. So I was asking another homie in the industry who I'm actually making a joint album with, and he's on my album because this dude can fucking sing some metal vocals, bro, but he can rap his ass off too. So we got a project in the works, but he's also on my album. But he knows a lot. He's basically just like one of us.
Yeah.
And he's very transparent and has no problem sharing the shit. So I was like, how do you chart, bro? because he's like, he made a little thing for himself because he charted like 110. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
that's fucking cool though. And I was like, how'd you do it? He's like, pre-orders. And I was like, bet, that's game changing.
Yeah.
So all of y'all out there, when the link goes live for the pre-orders, make sure y'all pre-order the album. Yeah. iTunes is the biggest one, but you know, Spotify, all those places, but Apple Music is how you chart. So if y'all can do that for me and everyone else out there that you know as artists, it helps gain so much traction and momentum when it's literally as simple as just being like, yep, boom. Because I've done this for every time that the homies that rap, even if they're not the homies, like I just fuck with their music or I want them to do well, I'll pre-order their shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it only helps. So if you can get everyone on board to just literally click the link and hit, it's literally as much as this button and it's done. That's it. That's as easy as it is. So if you can do that, you can help chart yourself too. If you're an artist, and you can help have your friends and your fans help you get to that point too. So
yeah. Also, we talked about graphic design. Get a good graphic design. As far as that, man, I mean, really, you can. I mean, if you got the digital distribution on lock, like you said, you got DistroKid. TuneCore has been one I've used. I like a lot because they'll pay you. You can get monetized for if you post your song on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and then if you put it in a reel, like on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. So they'll do a little bit of that. My label is connected with Sony Orchard, which is a really good distribution label, and a lot of industry people, for what I've been told, look for new talent on there. Nice. And so that's kind of what I do. I use TuneCore if I release something that's kind of more of a mixtape thing. It's because obviously there's a real strict copywriting going on with Orchard, but it's, you know, obviously for our protection. But
yeah, of course.
But it's everything. So if I decide I had a beat, but the producer wants to still hold those copyrights, but said, hey, you can put it on Spotify. So I use TuneCore for that, but also I kind of understand more of doing the distribution, right? You know, rather than just having my partner do all of it. So yeah, there's options like that. I started with CD Baby, and
that's where I was at too.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. I got some pretty decent licensing money off of that. Some podcast somewhere on YouTube used my song, and I got paid pretty nicely for it. And I have no idea who used it or what happened, because it wouldn't give me that much information. But it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So, yeah. I love royalties, bro. I love every 3 months when I got to go collect my royalties.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Now, if you guys want to do pressing, definitely Google, but there's definitely some websites. Discmakers is cool, but it's definitely pricey. So if you guys are trying to save money or just budget correctly, definitely just Google and just do a lot of reading on the websites. But I mean, there's websites you can print the CDs, print on vinyl. If you're, you know, maybe you can do cassette tape if you want to be funny like that. So yeah, as far as that goes. But what would you say as far as using social media to get enough attention? And what do you kind of suggest that's worked for you as far as that?
Well, I mean, what's worked for me is like predominantly, since I'm locked out of my Instagram and I don't have a Twitter, I'm on Facebook and TikTok, and I just started doing TikTok videos again. In the midst of me researching about, you know, how to promote your music and blah blah blah, like, it's all about, these days, it's not about like, oh, I got a picture of me doing something cool. It's like, where can I listen to your music? Like, most people aren't going to go to your bio and say, oh, check out my new song here. Here's a link. Most people aren't going to click it. They're going to want to be able to scroll through a video. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, obviously TikTok's all videos, but whatever. But like Instagram, they want to be able to like click on something, hear a little snippet, and if they want more, they'll go to your actual link. But that's just something that's a guy who I found on YouTube that helps artists like this, and he blew up on TikTok to where he lives in a really nice place, and he just helps other artists succeed. That's what he does now. Yeah. So it's as easy as just going to YouTube and YouTubing it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm only what he said is I'm only pressing up a certain amount of pre-orders, so I'm not going to print up 200 of them because
whenever I've always done CDs, I would only order the amount that I know I would possibly sell. Never did 500 to 1,000 or anything too crazy. So because the cool thing about it is if you sell out of your CDs, you get to tell people, hey, we're sold out of CDs. If you want one, I'll let you know when more come in. And that's like good hype because then people are like, because people don't know how, because it's like people don't know like how much you really ordered or whatever. But the idea that something like with my merch, when I sold out of my hats and then I sold out of my girls' booty shorts and shot glasses, I would announce they're all sold out. I'll let you guys know when I have more.
Yep.
And then I'd get people hitting me up being like, hey, when you get more, I think just the hype that they know your merch sold that fast, that you are out of your inventory of that item. It gives it more value, I think.
Yeah. Like I literally had to stop selling shirts and hats. I guess I have a couple hats left to sell. So if y'all want to get a Johnny Bliss hat, I'll actually, for anyone who added me on Facebook, because it's literally been like, I have like 10 friend requests from this video, I would assume. So I'll accept all of them. I'll repost when I get off this what it looks like for the shirts and the hats and stuff. So if you're in the area, you can grab a shirt at the show. And I will be making more batches of this, obviously. But y'all can still order a hat. So it's $25 for a hat or a shirt, and it'll be $30 if I have to ship it anywhere in the United States. So.
Nice. Let's see what else we covered. Okay, so album release party. We'll kind of jump into into shows. Do you do like any kind of touring to promote, a record you just put out?
Yeah. So biggest thing with touring is being able to find, especially in my instances, because I've gone on tour before and I've performed for 10 people. That's happened,
Yep. It's happened to me. Yep.
So, so the big thing is when you go hit the road, you go to places that you've either been or you've established some sort of relationship with other musicians there that can help pack the house. So that way it's not reliant on the strength of you out of town in a market that you might not be big in or have a lot of reputation in that market. But you go there and put on a good live performance. The next time you go out there, all that Homeboys fans, the majority of them fuck with you if you're good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So every time I do a tour, I make sure that I go to places that at this point in the game, I've been to these places before. But in the midst of it, I make sure I find artists that have relevancy in those places that can help me pack the house and they can get a percentage of ticket sales and blah, blah, the incentive for them there. And then you bring them down, you go do a show, and then you can set up these different locations like Justin does. And that way you can go hit the road and you got local support there that's going to help do that. And then the overall picture is good. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah. You should come down to Tulsa sometime.
Dude, I'm down, bro.
All right, cool.
I'm down. I was mad that I couldn't make that Omaha show because Lincoln's like 45 minutes away down the interstate, and I got kids and shit, so I wasn't able to just shoot down there. I was pissed, but
all good, man. We'll talk after this because I've been steady to bring artists from other states, whether they're steadily on tour or just I know I was talking to Mumbles the other day. Do you know Mumbles from Omaha?
Oh yeah, I love Jesse.
Yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah, he is. I like that dude. So I have to just get the both of you. We'll make a
dude. Absolutely.
I'll make it a package deal.
That's the thing is like I'm hoping that we'll be able to figure out something to where we can continue to do shows as long as COVID doesn't take over again. But how I'm setting it up is we got a festival in Utah in April, I think. So once we're trying to set up shows either before that or around that, but at this point in the game, I still work a 9 to 5, which I very much so need because it's funding all of my music and I'm good at that job. So I have the ability to make a lot of fucking money. So I have weekends off and I've got PTO and shit to burn, but it's easier for me to go hit a weekend here like, you know, weekend here and about 2 hours here, and then come back and then go do that. So I mean, like, it's a tour, but it's not like, yeah, we're gonna go hit 50 fucking cities in a row.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I've been, because I hit the road again in April, and I like doing like a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
If
That's
it's
what I like
feasible,
doing.
maybe a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I mean, for the most part, just being on the road for Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays is it's rarely great, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, because people don't end up. I mean, it's not that they don't end up coming out to the shows, but it's harder because these people, every single person has their own life and their own shit going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but yeah. So for releasing music, so definitely shows any kind of touring that you guys can pull off. Let's see what else. Also, here's something else. This doesn't get talked about as much, but guys, definitely when you're releasing music, look into soundexchange.com. There's a few other websites, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting your royalty money.
Yeah.
This has happened, been talked about by some people. They always say get your paperwork right, but yeah, this has happened where artists have found out that they had tons of money and royalties that were never claimed. And so soundexchange.com, that's a good source. If anyone else here knows of any others, I know there's a couple others. I just can't think the names off the top, but Sound Exchange is definitely at the top of the list. So now most of the time, these digital platforms like DistroKid, CD Baby, TuneCore, Orchard, like a lot of times they collect them, but it's really not their job. So it's kind of like you still want to get on there, get an account, and because there's no telling how much like royalty money that you're owed that's just floating out there. So so yeah, definitely like protect yourself on that, and yeah. So let's think about, so as far as releasing music independently, here's a kind of, I said this in the last episode earlier today. People should look up Russ and watch a lot of his interviews.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly like I like him as an artist, but I don't like bump his music like that. But his interviews are great. In fact, he's the only like artist that I know of at his level that's telling younger artists he's putting so much game out there. Like so just get on YouTube and type in Russ interview, and he'll talk about how he only had 100 followers on Twitter when he put out 11 albums, but was pulling in crowds at shows. He'll talk about how he got signed with Columbia Records, but he was negotiating with him because he already had an independent grind going and he didn't want to lose that. And all kinds of stuff. Like he'll talk about how he got onto Spotify playlists. He actually says that he makes more money just releasing music on platforms more than when he tours. But all kinds of different things. So but yeah, so if you guys are like me and you're ever just Googling, just trying to find just different gems, different industry secrets, yeah, look up any interview Russ does. He goes on a full educational rant several times. So it's pretty interesting. Man, I'm trying to think of what ground we haven't jumped on yet as far as releasing, an album or a single. Here's another thing I would do. Bandcamp is another option. It's not as good as like Spotify and iTunes, because with like Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music and Tidal, obviously people can just listen to it on a playlist, on their phone. Bandcamp isn't as user friendly, but it's more ideal for underground and indie artists. But they have a section where you can sell merch like through mail. They do a pre-order option, and they have it where the fans can buy the song and they can pick whatever the price they want. All kinds of things. So I would definitely like use as many avenues to put your album as possible, because different people might prefer different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, ads. I think ads is another. As long as you know how to use them, but like Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. Definitely, I think Facebook's probably the easiest one to run ads, and so which is for you guys don't know, when you see something on your news feed, so sponsored at the top.
Yep.
That's helped. That's helped me a lot because then you're able to, especially if you had like maybe 60 seconds of maybe you think your most popular or most marketable song, and have the cover art on there, and and try to reach new people that way, including the fans you already have. So and then you have an option where you can put the link. So if you're trying to send them to Spotify, or if you're trying to send them to iTunes to pre-order your album. So that's another thing I've done that's worked relatively well as far as promotion. So,
right.
but you guys have to have an artist page to do that. So, for those of you who don't, but if you do, just man, get it to utilize that. You can do the same with Google Ads, which is for YouTube. But the only downside to it is you're that annoying ad before a YouTube video plays. So pick your targeting wisely. So
yeah. But if you got a dope ass music video that you can put in an ad before someone's that helps.
It's helped me. I definitely have gotten more subscribers on YouTube through that. See, Mark said, make sure your music is registered with your pro before publishing, and live shows pay royalties. Nice. I don't know what these people are talking about, but anyway. So,
I think you meant PRO, but I don't know what a PRO is.
All right, Mark, jump right in. I'm gonna let Mark explain that.
Elaborate, Mark.
Yeah, especially for those listening that aren't in on these industry terms. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather let the
absolutely
let the PR guy break it down.
Right.
Here we go. Performing Rights Organization.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. ASCAP and BMI.
Yep.
If you guys, I'm on ASCAP. That's something you guys should get on as well. So, but man, honestly, any artist listening to this, head up Mark Prevails, because this is his whole lane.
Yep.
He's been dropping some gems in the comments. I've been making sure to pop those in and respond to them. So, definitely.
I'm definitely gonna be talking to him after this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, he just jumped in. Yep. BMI ASCAP.
CSAC. Oh, you see my sack? Oh no.
All right.
I make really bad dad jokes.
Oh yeah, those are fun though. Oh, here we go. Your content here is golden. Appreciate it, Mark.
Thanks, sir.
I'm gonna have you on this podcast, man, because I can already tell you're.
How many screens can you fit on here? 2 or 3?
I think 10. Well, let me see. I think you can fit quite a few. I know I can fit probably 4.
Well, that might not be a bad idea to have. I mean, I'd jump back in here with you and someone else too if you want to do us 3. Or obviously, I don't want to just be like, hey, put me on your podcast all the time. But like, yeah, dude, I'd love to come back and chop it up if there was somebody else who we could
man.
Pick their brain and shit too. So
for sure. Okay, we got about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to jump on? Any stories you want to tell? Do you got any trial and? I mean, you told quite a few, but those are always pretty good. The trial and error. What's something what's like an eye-opening experience, like as an artist, that's either made you want to say, wow.
An eye-opening both
good and bad. Both good and bad.
A humbling moment / eye-opening experience for me was understanding that you constantly have to put out new product if you want to remain relevant. So that was the biggest thing, was because I'm like, oh, a lot of people know me. A lot of people heard my music. A lot of people come to my shows. I don't got to do nothing to remain this. Well, it's like watching your favorite Netflix series. You're not just going to go back and rewatch the episodes again. We want more. You want the next fucking season to come out. You're antsy for it. But in the meantime, you go find something else. People do that. That's human nature. So they'll do that with your music too. So if you're not constantly figuring out a way to entertain these people, then you're losing momentum. And I learned that the fucking hard way. So all I'm doing is from the time that I started like putting this show together and stuff, like when we launched the flyer tomorrow and the online ticket sales and the Facebook page and all that shit goes live tomorrow, from that point forward, everything is sequentially going to be dropping. It's going to be dropping, and it's going to be all for this show. So there's going to be a lot of special announcements, a lot of super dope things that are going to be unveiled between tomorrow and when the show happens. And then from when that show happens, there's going to be a lot of things and that are going to be in motion from that show. So,
right. Oh yeah, back for trash talk. We're not exactly talking trash, just talking education. But
yeah, I'm sorry. If I would have known, if this was a roast battle, I would have.
No. One of my most popular songs is called "Trash Talk."
Oh,
and,
I got you.
If you've ever been to a show of mine, you'll know it's chorus is I drink beer, I talk shit, I'm a fucking asshole. But the way I do it is really catchy.
Right.
Dude, that song's like 7 years old. It was, what was it, like 2014, something like that is when I made it.
Right.
And then I made it as a satire because it was around the time that people, in fact, to anyone that likes the Trash Talk song, you're getting the background story on it. I haven't talked about it. It was supposed to be it was around the time where people on the internet were starting to get offended. Around the time that was happening. And so I wrote this song, and then it's really like it's almost like a satire if I was battling mumble rappers, because the whole all of it's just like braggadocio, but in a funny way.
Yeah.
So it's all the typical rap stuff, drinking, girls getting some, smoking weed and all this stuff in VIP. But I did it in such a way, but I had like all these punchlines and and all this shit. So yeah, so I made that, and then a couple of local artists I did shows with were really good at catchy hooks. This was one of my first songs where I started focusing on choruses, and now I'm actually getting pretty good at it. So before I was just all 16 bar verses. Like I could split bars for I could do like like 48 bar song, no problem.
Like your own mini cipher, basically.
Yeah. So I kind of did that, and then I thought it was really just supposed to be funny. You know what I mean? And it ended up people started catching on to it, and then the song is
you got some big fans there, bro. Shout out to your fans. They're loyal to you. That's awesome.
But yeah, man, that's how it kind of came about, and so it was really supposed to be one of my very few comedy songs.
Okay.
And then once I started doing it, there were cities I went to where they heard the hook once, and then when the hook came the second time, it was just it kept people caught on to it. So it was one of those hooks you hear for the first time, it, and it became a sing along. And then anytime I did a show where I did not do that song, someone would come up to me. He's like, "Why did you do that song?" So what's funny is we're talking about how you need new things, but I do believe some things never die.
Right. Absolutely.
I think like Metallica, the songs they put out, like Master of Puppets, they'll always have to play because of their old school.
Well, dude, check this out. You can literally hear a song from the 60s you've never heard before, and it's new to you.
Right.
Music is timeless. It's just how
I think so. It's cool, man. It's man, it's super cool.
Yeah. But I don't mean to interrupt you. There was a dude that hit me up a couple weeks ago that was like, "Yo, your song Stand Alone that I dropped in 2018." He's like, "I just came across it like 6 months, a year ago or whatever, and it helped keep me sober off of meth. I had it on repeat the whole time." And I was like, I made something that kept you sober off of meth? Like, that's insane. Like, that was such a humbling moment to be like, God damn, bro. Like, you're going to make me cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's cool because, like, that's all I've wanted to do. If I can change one person's, not even life, but, like, perspective on something, I've done my job.
Yeah. I had someone told me that after his divorce, he was thinking of killing himself, and then he heard a song of mine. And,
it's deep, bro.
And the song was not about suicide whatsoever. It was just a song about like depression and all that stuff. And he said,
because it showed that you were relatable. You're not just rapping robot with no emotion.
Yeah, I had no idea who this person was. He just followed me or whatever, and then heard that song. And he goes, "Look, man, I don't have a way of saying this, but your song made me feel less alone." I was just like,
That's fucking cool, dude.
Wow.
That's cool as shit,
So
man.
yeah, it's
That does something for us artists that like
it
people
does.
who aren't artists don't understand. Like that
Yeah.
that makes everything that we do make sense, and it's just validation to like thank you for my
Yeah.
hard work paying off, because that's all we wanted to do.
Right. Absolutely. What song yeah, okay. I love your music. It's so motivational. You're my inspiration. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's dope, Natalie.
And yeah. What's a song that you have? Like what's a song in your catalog where like your fans and your supporters are like that's the song
Okay,
they
so
always bring up that they love so
for
much.
different reasons. So the 3 songs that are off the album, that get and like I released them within like the last 4 or 5 months, but they kind of dropped in sequence for the album, whatever. But
Mhm.
those 4 songs, like Lobotomy, gets a reaction for a different reason that Mount Olympus gets a reaction for. So Mount Olympus gets a reaction for like, God damn, you just rapped your ass off and just blew our minds with what you just did.
Yeah.
And then I bring it back to, and I always like I was going with the segues and transitions. Like I always let people know that, like, you know, like I have a new song called Pray that's you know, it's aggressive, but it's a little bit more angry too. So I let people, and it's like a mosh pit song. Like that
Yeah.
song, I performed it at a festival and it damn near caused a mosh pit. So it was like, okay, cool. But like I basically segued, be like, you know, I just got done with that super aggressive song, and I'm like, you know, there's a reason where all the anger comes from. There's a flip side to that anger though. Like it's, some of it is sadness and whatever. So then I play Lobotomy, and Lobotomy, like I said, it's about that song. Like I talk about me burning my house, or you know, my house burning down and fucking losing my dogs and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
it was a big pivotal moment in my career, and it was fucking devastating to have that shit happen and watch your house burn down and shit. So it's like, you know, you have, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. Like Lemons is another great, that's like a straight hip hop track where I'm talking about like just, you know, kind of tired of dealing with fucking fake bullshit. You know, I'm just opening up and showing vulnerability. So you got options on there. Like I have a lot of different types of rap on there. So, but Mount Olympus is probably one of the majority of people's favorite song right now. It's out of mine. So,
well, man, let's after this, let's talk about when you can come to Tulsa, because
yeah, dude, absolutely.
As of right now, like I don't know if anyone in this chat, but you look like you already got some Tulsa fans already, and they just got to know you as a person
It's
before
looking like it. Yeah, I
hearing your
appreciate
music.
that.
So,
Yeah, you guys got to know me as a person rather than just hearing the music and being like, oh, he's cool. So no, I appreciate that. That's dope. And I'm gonna say it again just because I don't know if people, you know, tapped in later, but go add me on Facebook. My name is the exact same name that's displayed here. If you want to ask me questions, if you're an artist, you can pick my brain about everything I know. If you heard the music or you like the interview here, I have tons of shit coming out. I got tons of more podcasts, and Facebook and you know, is honestly my biggest platform that I get the most engagement from.
me too. Yeah.
You know, right. I'd love it to be Instagram and TikTok, but I mean, the reality of it is like, there's so many people that I know from here that I've made relationships with that are on Facebook. So that's where my big thing is. So like show announcements, new music videos, new songs, everything I got going on, you can literally be the first to tune in on that. All you gotta do is just follow me on social media. So you'll be up to date on everything. Just follow me on social media, and I don't bite. Talk to me, ask me some questions. You want to, whatever, just hit me up.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm extremely personable. I'm sure you got to figure that out since this interview, you know. So
man, did you read about Facebook today though?
No, what happened?
Biggest plummet. Their stock like plummet. Huge. Zuckerberg, I'm not calling him by his first name, I'm calling him the Zuck.
Did one of my dick pics get out again? Is that what happened? Just shut down the server?
No, you're good. No, what happened is there's over 500,000 people that have not been logging in, and they have reason to believe they're losing people on Facebook. And of course, the Zuck decides he's going to blame TikTok for it. And I'm reading this. I'm like, okay, bro, like you don't think all the censorship, you don't think you having people were on their business and arts page where only 2% of the followers could see their posts. You don't think the Facebook jail and the restrictions, you don't think that has something to do with it?
Yeah, it's got a huge part to do with it.
Yeah.
The fact that I got to spend a couple $100 to advertise my shit when 5 or 6 years ago, I could literally just post it and get hundreds of engagements.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, when I get my Facebook memories, I look at a huge difference in engagement. Which, speaking of which, man, I definitely want to give a shout out to everyone that's been commenting in the chat.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely. I
like,
appreciate every single one of you.
cool thing about StreamYard, it shows like how many likes were up. So,
Yeah,
definitely appreciate you guys because I'm under restrictions. Like they're moving my posts lower in the news feed for the next 38 days.
that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I
Some
was
shit
also
I
gonna.
said 2 years ago apparently got Facebook mad today.
That's so stupid, dude. It's so dumb. I was also gonna tell the audience too, go even if Spotify isn't your main streaming platform, go follow my Spotify page on there and check out some of the music. Press play, because you just any chance that you can have to check out my music, I'm extraordinarily appreciative of. And it's not like I'm not even just interested in making music. Like I've got other things in the entertainment avenue that or the industry that I'm working on too. So even if you're not like a huge fan of rap, like, I'm working on other things that might be entertaining, like comedy and acting and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So I try not to limit myself. I'm pretty versatile. So just come fuck with me.
Nice, nice. Also, this just hit my mind. Spotify playlists. If you now for you guys, definitely like do your research. Try not to fall for the scams like we talked about earlier. Make sure make sure it's legit. But yes, I've used a few. I've got on a few playlists and stuff like that. That definitely helps your streams because we know how great Spotify pays us, but the playlists help. But yeah, make sure you're not paying for streams because Spotify will totally knock you off for that. And you want to you want to reach real people. Like one thing I'll tell artists, don't get caught up in numbers too much.
No. Get caught up in making an impact.
Yeah. You want because it really sucks. And honestly, like because I see a lot of guys who they'll use the wrong resources to get views on YouTube, to get streams, and then they'll screenshot that. And honestly, man, that doesn't mean anything if no one's coming to your show because no one knows of you. And maybe
you can have 10,000 monthly listeners all you want, but if you can't
delusion
fucking tickets to a show, go away.
Yeah, delusion of grandeur. So definitely just like I said, enjoy being small wherever that may be. And I think,
dude.
I think the problem is like, especially in hip hop, I think a lot of people listen to don't everyone's and I just need to don't listen to any dumbass people that tell you, well, if you're not doing this many numbers or then you're irrelevant, nothing like that. Yep. If you're making an impact, even if it's just 20 people, that's still a great place to be, and it'll grow. Like I've seen Nice Enough operate just from a grassroots movement, and they're growing very nicely. When my label Mugen Music started, and then we started doing shows and we started putting out cypher videos and stuff like that, we made an impact, and we really didn't have all that much money, but people thought we did. People thought we were just dumping tons of money in marketing, and it's just very, very little. Like a lot of it was just we would hire videos, and then we just knew how to hype things up.
Yeah.
And I think anyone in your camp, in your crew, your label, what have you, like just have like a good plan and make sure everyone on your team is on the same page. Yep. That's another thing, a team. And I know people give me shit because I say a lot. I'm trying not to do that.
No, you're good, dude.
But I did it again. Team, my advice is I think everyone has a friend that's going to college and wants to be an entrepreneur or wants to be involved in business, maybe management. Perfect. I knew an artist. His homie was going to college for that. He wanted to learn management. And I remember meeting him, and I was like, so you managing him or like, trying to be his business guy, like kind of behind the scenes. Right. And then he goes, and they just looked at me, and he was like, bruh, I didn't even think about that. I was like, well, you should.
Well, what are you doing as a manager? What are you providing?
Well, his friend was just going to college. Right. To do management. So he wanted to learn. I think he definitely wanted to be a business owner or manager, but he was learning business. He was learning marketing. And he didn't even think about it. So I kind of I don't know if they're still working to this day because they both moved out of state. But I just remember talking to him, was like, yeah, and because what he was doing was he was building a team of rappers, which is fine. But I just think the problem is when your team is too many rappers, you don't have the marketing and you don't have the business figured out. You're a bunch of guys just kind of stroking each other's dicks, really. So it's good for if you kind of like how Tyler the Creator had Odd Future. Definitely Strange Music is a good example. It's cool for that, for you guys to do shows, do songs, do tours together. But you want somebody who isn't trying to make it as an artist. Someone who's just like, hey, when you guys put out this song, you should do this on social media. Or
you want someone to manage you. They don't want. I was just having this conversation. I realized that like I don't have any use for a manager at all. You want to know why? Because I'm my own manager and I can set up anything that I need for myself. I could be someone else's manager. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't need a manager.
Yeah.
I was confirmed. I don't need one because I'm doing everything a manager would do.
Right.
The only reason people have managers these days is to be able to stroke their own ego and be like, I got a manager. What's your manager doing for you?
Oh man, that's one thing. One thing I've always seen, and I've been meaning to bring this up. I see this on Facebook a lot, and artists come to me and say this. The words is, I need a manager.
No, you don't.
Best response I give them is, well, for them that think they do. And I said, I think you misunderstand what a manager does, though. And I always tell them this. I said, what do you have to manage? Are you making too much money? Do you have too many tour dates? Do you have too many shows? Do you have too much merch? Really, you need a manager to manage things. It's real simple. It's simple English language, really. Right. And I said, but what I tell all of them this, because what I understand, I ask them, what do you need a manager for? It's like, well, I need more shows. I need more da-da-da. And I'm thinking, well, you're thinking of an agent, really, because manager is not really his job. Or they say like, well, I need to start getting paid. I'm like, well, you pay the manager, a manager is not just going to give you money or something like that. But I definitely advise everyone to learn the business.
Yeah.
Which is another part of the reason for this podcast. But be your own manager.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for a couple of reasons. So you don't get fucked over. Yes, of course, naturally. Mm-hmm. But so that way you're not reliant on other people to get shit done. That in retrospect, if you knew how easy it was to get the majority of these things done, it's just about reaching out and making contact and not being afraid of the word no. That's all it is, man. I didn't just wake up one day and have all these contacts for promoters who book shows for a venue here that's the biggest basically a venue that big rappers and shit come through. Like I get booked on a regular basis. I didn't just stumble into that. I worked my ass off and they fuck with me. So like I put myself into a position of success. So there's there's just a lot that goes into it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Same thing for me, man. Over years, just because for me, I'm naturally an introvert, so I had to break out of my shell and talk to people because that's networking is a big part of it. So
yeah, I'm not. So it was easy for me. Like I'm in sales for my job. So what made me good at sales for my job was that I could sell myself as a musician. But what made me better as a musician is how I learned the business side of sales and what goes into marketing and shit. So it's like they both work hand in hand.
See, that's what's funny. A friend of mine said this to me, and I never thought of it, but it made a lot of sense. He goes, "We're really just musicians. We're really salesmen. Our whole thing is sales. It's like you're trying to convince people to listen to your music, to go to your show, to share your music with their friends, and all that. So that's sales. Is you're trying to get them to buy your album. You're trying to get them to buy your T-shirt. So sales is like a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
So
you got to sell yourself and then provide a service secondary.
Yeah. Oh, let me give a shout out to Jason Harris. He's in a rock band. Actually doing a show with him in Pittsburgh, Kansas at TJ Litlands.
What's going on, Jason?
Good information from y'all both. Also can't wait to have the show with you at TJ Litlands in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Going to be a pretty good time. Yeah, if anyone ever goes to Kansas, definitely try to get at TJ Litlands. And Pittsburgh, Kansas, it's a really interesting small town, but every time I perform there, it's always been super lit. Like, and I definitely
I've been to Shawnee and Kansas City and done shows, but I haven't been anywhere else in Kansas.
All right, Joe Tamas says 100. All right, let me get caught up. There's a lot of comments I missed.
Oh no, you're good.
Hey Natalie, appreciate the tip. I appreciate that. Going for criminal justice.
Hell yeah.
Natalie, the best ever. The next Drake. That's interesting.
Sorry if I look all squinty. These comments are so tiny on my screen.
You're fine. And you guys can, after this stream is over, you guys can gonna go right. You can rewatch it. Hey guys, Friendly Fires is making waves in the area. Hell yeah. Can't wait, guys. Okay, we're into an hour and 40 minutes. So
damn, that's crazy, bro.
It's funny whenever I get people on, I'm like, oh, it'll probably just be 30 minutes. It's never 30 minutes.
No,
it's always an hour. Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably get ready to wrap this up. But
yeah, bro, absolutely.
But no, this has been cool. But yeah, appreciate everyone commenting. The fact that I was struggling to catch up with the comments in the chat's always a good thing. So
oh, you're good, dude. I had fun when I took over for like 2 minutes. That was fun. I'm sure your viewers were like, "This dude's nuts."
That was a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man. I guess that's all I got. I know we've already plugged all your social media, but
yeah, but I'll do that one more time. So yeah, Johnny Bliss, JXHNNY, Bliss, BLISS, just like it's spelled on the screen. All streaming platforms, all social media. You can find me anywhere and everywhere on there. I do have my album dropping on the 11th. It's called Painted Smiles. It's got some pretty big features on there. And we got the show dropping on the 11th as well with the album. And I just have a lot of shit coming between tomorrow when we drop the flyer and the actual album release and stuff. So just tap in with me. I got something for everybody out there. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to start fucking. I wish I could talk more about what I have going on. Like it's, it's irritating because I want to be able to like, here's everything, but I can't do that. So
yeah, I feel you. But yeah, man. But yeah, after this, we'll definitely talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna get both you and Mumbles together, and definitely, and we'll discuss. Definitely some compensation because when I bring people out of state on the road or whatever, I like to take care of them and stuff like that. And that's something else, man. That's just because like I've toured many times, and I can tell you, how expensive it can get. So.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. And if anyone's looking to book me in their city or whatever, or for a feature, any of that stuff, just hit up Justin Strawstone. He's basically handling all that stuff. So add him on Facebook, dude. Super dope. Yeah. I mean, you can message me and I can get you in contact or whatever, but yeah, he's handling all that stuff. So if you want to book me, if you need a feature, all that jazz. I will be having a website coming soon to where you can literally just like book a feature, like through all that stuff on the website. But as for now, hit up Justin Strawstone. I mean, you can message me anything you need, but like when it comes to like booking and getting this stuff settled, we gotta go through him. So yeah, if you need something, hit me up. But yeah, if you need anything from me, just holla. So
you don't have you don't need a manager, but you do have an agent.
I pretty much have a booking agent. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm one of his brand ambassadors for Nice Enough. So
excellent. Excellent. Yeah, but I can definitely tell you because I have a couple dudes that
24-hour stream.
Oh, gee.
Oh my god. Good luck.
But no, I have a couple guys that kind of operate as far as booking agents. So if I want to book a tour or something, they'll get it set up. They'll tell me how much the pay, how much you get paid for it, or if it's a door deal, stuff like that, and so much easier because I always hated booking my own stuff when I hit the road. And then a lot of times we kind of do trade, like them and their friends.
Exactly.
We'll need a Tulsa date, and then I'll hook them up. I actually got them coming April. So I gotta get on the promo on that, by the way. So
hell yeah, dude, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Same like with the dude out in Florida. He's bringing us out there in the summer.
Nice.
South Dakota. Yeah, so like it's all about I'll bring you here, you bring me there. We'll just fucking mesh audiences and both grow, bro.
Yes,
So.
absolutely. I know. I tell Straw at some point I need a Nebraska return.
No, dude, we need to
So
have you out here for sure.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Actually, tell you the truth, on my last tour, I was in Lincoln, Nebraska at Baraska Bar and Grill. I don't know if that's how
Yeah.
you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got snowed out. That was we had fun regardless, but
Oh yeah.
it didn't work out quite as we'd hoped. But that's touring for you. So
Yeah.
but
Especially when you got snow involved.
since and I talked to a couple people. They were college kids, and since you live out in Lincoln, maybe you could kind of. They said Thursdays are like the best time because they said there's a thing.
Thursday downtown.
That's what they told me. Thursday.
There's a couple bars downtown that have like dollar tall boys and shit that people go to that you can perform at those bars. Wow. So like there's a place called Duffy's in Lincoln. The last show that we did at Duffy's, we packed the motherfucker out, made a ass load of money. And
nice.
Yeah, our fans came out, but there was also people just wandering in just to go drink and shit who had to pay a fucking door fee. So like, it's a good place to make fans.
Those are really the best places to play.
Yeah, facts.
Definitely, like when you're touring and you're playing cities you're not real known. Try to find out where those places are at because
big facts, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, like my show is going to be at the Bourbon, and the Bourbon itself will pull people in because it's the Bourbon.
That kind of reminds me of Norman, Oklahoma, which is where I like to play perform at, and they're a college town, and they have a place called the Deli, which is right on Campus Corner.
Right.
And then there's another place that I play at most of the time called Red Brick Bar. And it's not right on campus, but it's still part of that downtown area. And yeah, your people will come in, and then just random people are just trying to go from bar to bar. They'll pay to cover, they'll come in, and we've had so many good turnouts and many great nights. So
yeah, I'm excited, dude. My last couple shows that I've thrown were all sold out. So I mean, the venue holds like 150 people, but that's still like
that's what the most of the venues I do here in Tulsa. Yeah, in fact, we got tickets. Got me and the other artists tickets for the March Massacre, and that place, Blackbird on Pearl, holds about 154. Yep. But I'm trying to keep it kind of conservative because you want to make sure we're not overdoing fire code because you have room for the artists.
Yeah.
I have a couple sponsors and vendors, so I need,
you don't want sardines in a can.
Yeah. You don't want the fire department. You know what? Some asshole is going to call the fire department if it gets too out of hand. So just enough, just enough. But so all of us just sell 15 tickets each. All the artists get a commission pay off of what they sell.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, but
yeah, I think that's the best.
Yeah, any show that I'm throwing, basically any artist gets to most tickets are $10, and each artist that sells the ticket gets to keep 5 of that 10. So
I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yep. Make yourself some bread, bro. Even if you sell 10 tickets, that's $50, bro. You just made $50.
Yeah, it's more than a lot of artists. That's more than a lot of artists get around here. So that's definitely like a system I'm working on bringing back. So I think it's good. It's easy. Like even some of the artists for like 15 tickets is pretty much light work. So
absolutely. Yeah.
And I tell people, I was like, man, here's a big thing. This is kind of one of those tough talks, but it's true. If you can't get 15 people to come see you perform, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's
and don't get me wrong. It depends on like, let's say I'm opening up for a bigger act. It depends on who that is. It depends on what time of the week it is. So there's been times where I've struggled to sell 15, 20 tickets, but there's also times where I've sold 75 to 100 easily.
Yep, same here. Yeah.
So it just varies. There's variables. There's so many variables that go into this shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. I'm out of content here, so well. I swear, like I feel like this conversation could probably go on till 5 o'clock in the morning if we wanted to, but
facts, bro.
I'm not gonna do that. All right, man. Well, for everyone that's viewed, appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that's commented. Any donations, highly appreciated. There is no number that's too small, and there's definitely no number that's too big.
Absolutely.
That reminds me.
If anybody on here if anybody on here would like to, I guess, donate and purchase a ticket, if you're out of state and you can't make it, anything fucking helps to be able for the overall, because all the money that I make from the show and all this stuff is going to get put back into the merch and back into the brand and just expanding it. So it's not like I'm like, ooh, I want to collect all this money so I can go buy a watch. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I got to, bro, like, I'm Gucci. I got a whole jewelry thing full of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Like, I'm good. It. So I'm just trying to build the brand. So if anyone out there wants to help towards that, you know, I'll accept anything and everything. So
that's true. Also, yeah, and let you guys know, like, reason I do the donation thing is for podcasts. I'm basically doing it labor of love.
Yeah.
Donations goes to anything. If you like the content, that's stuff that will go investing in a better camera for the podcast,
better camera, better equipment, all that stuff. Yeah.
Or just music in general. It'll go into more merchandise. So so yeah, it's just like a tip jar. That's really all I'm using it for. I'm not trying to fill my pocket. It's just if you like the content and you want to donate in some way, that it helps. So that's really all I do it for. So other than that, but yeah, man. So you got your album release coming.
Yes.
So and then shout out to I'm trying to get the last of the comments. I think that's about it. So
no, you're good.
It's going forever, but yeah, man, we'll go ahead and take this in this podcast. But yeah, man, guys, go follow Johnny Bliss. Make sure you put that X in there so you don't accidentally get a porn star.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, follow me on Spotify. Follow me, or you go check out my music on iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, everywhere. Social media, just come fuck with me, bro. I got a lot coming. So. I genuinely want to thank you for your time, for allowing me to come onto your platform and just, you know, share my stories and just provide perspective from what I've been doing and what's worked for me, what hasn't and shit. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to interview me. So thank you very much. Thank you for all your listeners. I hope y'all enjoyed the content here. We got a ton more coming up, and I expect me and him to be working together on some music. Just trust that. So
sounds good.
That's going to happen. So I appreciate your guys' time. Come fuck with me on social media and streaming platforms. So
yeah. All right, man. Have a good night.